Hello, Aaron. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to meet with me once again to discuss Sales Success by Brian Tracy. Um, my purpose of being here today is to tell you why I believe this book would be an excellent fit for you and both you and your advanced sales class. And hopefully, by the end of this meeting, we are able to agree upon a potential trial run for you and your advanced sales course. And by the end of the trial run, hopefully both you and your students are pleased, and we can talk long term here. All right. With that being said, I'm going to recap our first meeting from, I believe it was late September. These were just some of the things that I took away from the meeting that you had to say about what what you would like to see in the book, and the expectations, and just exactly how I can help you. What I took away, and how I plan to help you, and what the book contains and how it will help you in your advanced sales course. So with that being said, the first one that was discussed was you said the goal is to get students to apply and help students bring sales to life. With that being said, these kind of go hand in hand with the second thing that I have down here, is that it needs to be easy to read and have stories. So the book contains plenty of real life stories from a professional salesman himself, and that's Brian Tracy. The author he's a businessman, and he has worked in sales for over 60 years of his life. So you're going to get plenty of real life stories that that will help the students bring sales to life, and how they can take away from his past experiences and experiences that he's come across, and what's worked well and what hasn't worked well for him. So it will allow students to take that and apply that in the everyday life of sales. And lastly, this part of the second thing we discussed was that it needs to be easy to read. The book is just above 100 pages, so it's not long. The chapters are broken down into short sections, and each chapter is roughly 5 to 7 pages in length, so it is a very easy read for the students. Excuse me. Next, you wanted it to contain sales habits and people habits. With that being said, the book contains plenty of sales habits when it comes to prospecting. The 6 common objections of buyers, and that the 6 common objections. What I'm trying to say is, the book discusses sales habits, but then we'll go into the habits of the people after discussing the sales habits. So, you'll get both hand in hand. You'll get, as I just discussed, the 6, for example, one of the chapters discusses the 6 common objections of the people, and it gives you a better understanding by of the people's habits of what to expect when it comes to these different objections and how to overcome them. So, like as it stated, plenty of sales habits in the book, over 20 sales habits, and along with people habits. Next is to give students a better understanding of what it's like to sell. Well, this kind of goes back to the stories, and how they can gain a better understanding is by reading the book, and reading about a professional salesman's stories and real life examples that they can take into their own life and bring to life. So it gives you a very, very good understanding of what it's like to sell, and how they can implement that in real life. Next, we had discussed that there was no current price range, but you weren't looking to spend a ton of money, and the value obviously needs to be there. I can promise you the value is definitely there, and we'll get into more depth on this in upcoming slides. But the book is also very inexpensive, which we'll discuss a little bit more upon in later slides. Next, the book needs to hit criteria the students to become better at sales. It hits all the the criteria you could even desire. It hits over 21 different topics and habits of sales, and you discussed that your current supplier is Cengage, and and I had asked what's a strength and what's a weakness of a Cengage sales textbook. The strength was that it's easy to digest. It's easy to understand, but a weakness is it's a sales textbook. And, we had discussed upon how, it's a sales textbook. It contains plenty of products, or not products, my apologies. It contains plenty of terms and definitions, and it's just boring things that students do not want to take the time to read. Whereas a short sales book that, sums up a sales topic or, a sales habit in 5 to 7 pages, that's something that the students will want to read, and it will benefit you because they will be more engaged with this sales book. So next, I'm going to jump into a little bit of the features and benefits. First off, we have, the book gives excellent examples. As I have written down here on page 59, I'm just going to read you a short example of an example from the book on prospecting. Whenever possible, open your sales conversation with a strong question that qualifies the prospect immediately and gets the person's attention. Ask a person to which a yes answer qualifies the person as a possible prospect who might buy and use your product or service. For example, when selling to businesses, you could open with, would you like to see an idea that could make or save you a lot of time or money? Any prospect that hears that is going to be yes. Immediately, they're just going to say yes. If it's going to save me time and money, yes. So the book contains plenty of beautiful examples that will make things easier for students to understand. That's the benefit. It will make things easier for the students to understand and apply themselves. Next, another feature is that the book was written by someone who's been doing sales for over 60 years. Brian Tracy, he's been in sales for over 60 years. Since he was 10 years old, he's been doing sales. This, the benefit of that is that you're guaranteed reliable information and real life stories from Brian Tracy himself, who has been in the sales field for over 60 years. The man's 72 and started when he was 10. That is a very long life of sales. So with that being said, you will gain plenty of real life stories and very, very, very reliable information. Next, the book is inexpensive. You won't have to spend a ridiculous amount of money on the book. We had discussed that you were looking to buy an additional or 15 to 45 copies of this book. That was discussed in the first meeting, and the book is priced at just under $10 per book. So if you do need to buy, say 15 books and at $10 a piece, that's $150. Compare that to, your average college textbook, which is roughly anywhere from $100 to $400, maybe even $600 per textbook. And obviously we discussed this is not a sales textbook. That's another, it's also one of the features I have to discuss here. Students will be more engaged in reading a short book over a sales textbook. The book is inexpensive. It's not a sales textbook. It will keep you and your students in, the school happy because you're not spending an insane amount of money on a sales textbook. Next, it contains action exercises at the end of each chapter. And I'm going to get to an example of this, but, this allows the students to practice different sales techniques with one another after each chapter. They can, even as exercises during class, you can have them get together to discuss and work with one another on these action exercises, to better their sales abilities, to give them a better understanding of how to operate this in a sales atmosphere. So with that being said, an example here, and this is on, the friendship factor when it comes to prospecting. And the action exercise, for example, is to build a friendlier relationship faster. Imagine that your customer, the prospect, is a fascinating person with a rich inner life. Ask questions and listen expectantly, as though this person is about to say something profound and moving. And this is something that the students will take away in a positive way. When they meet with someone and they're that into the meeting, as they should be when it comes to meeting with a prospect, they need to direct their absolute attention to what the prospect is saying or what the customer is saying in any sales situation. Because as a salesman, you are the one that's able to help them. Whether you can, anything that they say is valuable information to you, when it comes to making a sale. That's what you have to thrive on. You have to thrive on paying attention to the customer and the customer only. The customer knows what they're saying and they know what they want. And that's where you come in and you help them out. So next, the book needs to be easy to read and retain information. And you want the students to be able to retain the information. The book is it's not very long. It's short, as I stated before. It's just over 100 pages long, and it's split up into short chapters, 5 to 7 pages per chapter, making it very easy to read for the students. The students are definitely going to retain this information because it's real life stories that they can benefit from. They can take out and use in the real world. So, and the last one we'd already discussed is it is not a sales textbook. Students will be more engaged in reading, and it's a short book over a sales textbook. It's what I would like to say, it's a healthy alternative. A lot of students don't want to sit there and read a sales textbook. Whereas this, it's short, it's simple, and it gives you those real life stories that can benefit students in the long run. They will want to read it, and they will retain the information inside the book. Next, I have a couple of customer reviews of the Sales Success book. These are some things that I believe that you would want to see. That these are happy customers, and they're I believe it was 90% of the reviews were happy customers when it came to the Sales Success book. So, with that being said, I'm just going to read you a couple here. This small volume would make an excellent addition to any salesperson's library. In only a little over 100 pages, Tracy hits just about everything you need to succeed in sales. He covers all phases of successful selling, from developing an ideal customer profile, to prospecting, to cold calling, to making the first sales call, to sales pitch, to closing the sales, to keeping the customer once you have made the sale. It's all here in 21 easy to read and understand short chapters. Tracy gets right to the point, which is what I really like about this reading his books. He doesn't feel the need to pad his pages by saying the same thing in five different ways. He just gets right to the point. And that was an Amazon customer. Next are a couple more Amazon customers. You have, as usual, Brian Tracy's books are awesome. Probably the best and most astute writer in the field of business. Another happy customer. Brian Tracy is remarkable. This book is an astounding action plan for the man who wants to dramatically improve his sales ability. I bought it because I hope to someday be in the top 20% of my field. This guy purchased the book because he heard that this book would help him become a better salesman. It will help your students become better salesmen, and they will take a lot away from this book. So, just thinking to myself from our meeting, a possible objection that we may come across is that the book's too short. It might not have enough valuable information. And, will the students be able to gather enough information from such a short read? Well, the answer to that is yes. They will be able to gain plenty of information because it gets straight to the point in each chapter. He doesn't, repeat himself over and over again like a textbook would. It gets straight to the point. The students will retain the information, and they will be able to gather enough information to help them out in, future sales careers. So with that being said, here are the forms to set up a trial run, and that's, the trial run is free. And let's, while I'm here, let's set a meeting date for, when the trial run is completed to discuss the outcome, what worked well for you and your students, what didn't work well, what you'd like to see better out of the sales book, and, and then let's discuss long-term purchases, whether or not you're interested in making a long-term purchase with me in the Sales Success book. I believe that this book is a great fit for you in your sales class, and you'll be very happy with the outcome of the book, and your students will be very happy as well. So with that being said, thank you so much for your time, and I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to meet with me once again. I'm really looking forward to our next meeting, and I really hope the book treats you and your advanced sales course well. Thank you so much again, Aaron. I really appreciate it.